Welcome back to BYU Sports Station. We are live in Studio B on this beautiful Thursday, August the 10th. Alongside Jarom Jordan, I am Spencer Linton. We're 23 days away from BYU's first football game, but not that far off from BYU men's basketball tipping off as well. They open up practice largely in late September. They have a brand new basketball director of strength and conditioning and sports science, and he brings an amazing resume. Michael Davie is with us on BYU Sports Station.
What's up,
Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I had a couple of BYU fans last night say, hey, what the heck did Mark Pope and BYU say to this guy to lure him away from the NBA and the Milwaukee Bucks to come to Provo? And I said, I'm talking to him tomorrow. I'll ask him. What was said and why was this the right fit for you now?
Mark was great. Really highlighted the values of the program. I think it was multifactorial. I think personally with family, so I have 5 children that are all studying at BYU Idaho. My wife is studying online at BYU. I'm obviously a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Love basketball and didn't really love the travel that much in the NBA. So the travel rigors are really tough. And so I was looking forward to spend more time with family and with the kids, but also still have an impact. So where can I share my skills, my knowledge, and BYU seemed to be a great fit, great opportunity to express those skills and see what impact we can have.
You mentioned on social media you have aspirations of a PhD. You want to build an American muscle car, have a social life. Pickleballers beware. So those were influences as well?
Yep. So pickleball started in the bubble, the NBA bubble in Orlando. We didn't really have much to do, so we taped up in the car park, and the general manager and players would come down. So we just started playing pickleball every day. So that's where that started.
Is Giannis good at pickleball?
Pat Connaughton, he's good at everything.
Pat seems like he would be.
Yeah, he's that annoying guy that's just good at everything. So you go away, Pat. You're just too good at everything. Go away. That's fun. So that's where that started. The American muscle cars, a Cobra, 1965. Woo! Want to build one. That's
have you started, or that's the aspiration?
I've been talking to companies about bringing aboard the kit cars. I bought a house that's going to be able to fit that plan. So I got things in motion. So that's the goal. So let me be cruising up to BYU in a Cobra 1965.
Who is that? That's Michael Davie. Pickleball champion Michael Davie.
Okay,
Exactly.
there's a lot to unpack there. But I want to ask one more question about pickleball. Because you are, in strength and conditioning and you deal with injuries, pickleball seems to be creating a lot of injuries, okay, in our society, Michael. So how are you approaching this to stay healthy and become an elite pickleball player?
Well, I think there could be a career after basketball and pickleball, maybe. I think it's more professional, maybe.
Well, let's go.
But I mean, it's not as demanding as tennis, I would say. It's a lot of fun. And I think, it's one of those sports where you got an older person on the other side. You're thinking, I'm going to dominate because I'm young and fit. And that's not always the case as they hit the ball past you. But yeah, I think it's a great sport. It's super fun. People pick it up really quick. So I'm looking forward to getting into that side of things and just have it, a couple of days a week of social time.
Now you got time. Yeah, that's great.
I got time,
that's
yes.
Great.
Yeah. No, you don't. You're heading to Italy and Croatia with this group, right, which is exciting. You've got the Big 12. There are a lot of exciting things. What are you most excited about this new challenge with this new team?
I think I've been here about a week and a half. I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth. I think there's a lot of opportunities to get better. I think the players have been fantastic to work with. They're very open, very receptive. So I'm looking forward to seeing the change that we can make from where they are now and where we can be in a year's time, 2 years' time. These things do take time to implement. I think about what we did in Milwaukee when we started there 8 seasons ago. They weren't very good. Giannis was a skinny little kid, and then it took us a couple of years to get him to be a very dominant player in the NBA. So I think I'm excited about that potential, what we can do with this team. I think there's a lot of opportunities there.
Outstanding. Michael Davie is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Elijah Bryant, obviously has great love for BYU and BYU basketball fans, and Mark Pope and the staff, they love him, and you were with him in Milwaukee. What was it like to connect with him and have another member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints with you in that NBA organization?
And Sam Merrill.
And Sam Merrill, a couple actually.
And we had, on staff, we had
Craig Manning. That's right.
So in that championship year, there were four of us.
Crew.
They had a whole crew. So I've actually got a great photo of the four of us on the court, on the side of the court before a finals game. It's really cool.
And then to the side of the locker room when the champagne was being.
I had the goggles on, but there wasn't much champagne. Like little Sprite there.
Yeah, you bet.
At least I had some comrades together.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not alone.
I'm not alone in this. I mean, Elijah's a professional. You know, he's such a great kid, great young man. Had a really interesting story coming to us. The day he came back to Milwaukee, kind of mid-season, Israel got bombed. And he's like, yeah, my house is just under all those bombs there. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So we got him out of there just in time, and then to see him, help the team be successful, that bond is pretty special, right? When you win a championship together, that team, that group has always got that special bond. So
that's cool.
But I mean, Elijah's reached out a number of times over the past since then. Now that he's playing in Turkey and whatnot, hey, can you send me this program? Can you send me this? So they've always stayed in touch, and he did reach out and just congratulated me for being here. So
that's awesome. Your title has sports science in it as well. What angle will that? What role will that play in what you do?
So one of the opportunities I think with the program is to bring in sports science technology, and the value of sports science is it's very informative about what we should do, what we should train, where are the areas that need to be developed. So is it body composition? Is it their conditioning? Is it their strength levels? Is it their power output? So there's just a whole range of tools and technology that we can bring in to assess players and determine where opportunities lie that we can tap into and make them better.
Does increased competition in the Big 12 merit a different approach?
To the
Than
WCC?
say what BYU was doing?
I would say yes. I think they're more athletic, they're bigger. I have a number of colleagues that are strength coaches in other teams. So yeah, I think they're bigger and they're more athletic. More on par with kind of the G League, maybe the NBA. But I mean, the NBA, those guys are big and they're strong and they're powerful. And you see that kind of drop down to the G League and I think college again. So how do we get him from here and make him a G League player to an NBA player? That's kind of the goal.
When you look at the program you want to fully implement at BYU, what do you feel like will be the biggest difference early on that you can bring to this team that maybe they have not been doing in recent years?
The use of sports science to help drive decision making, but I think individualization. So how can we, someone like Ali need a total different program to Dallin Hall? Like one's a little guard that had different characteristics, with Ali has totally different needs. So being able to individualize for each guy to maximize the talents that they bring to the program, and how do we bring it out of them, So I think that's probably the biggest change, and it's going to take some time to get there, because at the moment we're just trying to get to know the players and things like that. But I think in time we're going to be highly individualized, trying to maximize the talent of each person.
Wow, an intriguing and a huge task for you, and BYU is super fortunate to have you. Just make sure there's time in there to work on your 65 Cobra.
Exactly. If we got that time, we're good.
Hey, again, welcome to BYU, Michael. Great to have you in the studio.
And have fun in Italy and Croatia next time.
Oh.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
So much for not traveling.
Yeah, exactly. But once we get this out, we're good.
Exactly.
Very good. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.